day at school for many Cornish schools today for a week off. And of course, Halloween, not long to go now. Just 8 days to go. So Twitter's been going mad this morning about one of the guests on the programme today. Ellen, Pamela, Rachel, Eileen have all been tweeting, Emma, what time is Richard Armitage going to be on the programme today? Well, a specially commissioned film version of a recent West End production is released next week in cinemas and broadcast via the BBC. It's called Uncle Vanya.
For 25 years, I have managed this estate. You haven't ever once thanked me.
Oh, excellent. And what good does drinking do either of you?
Kills the days.
Oh!
The climate is in my power. Someone 100 years from now will be happier because of it.
I'm at least as unhappy as you.
Leave me alone. You're driving me mad.
And I'm not giving up. I'll endure it.
I didn't force him to achieve nothing. He managed that all by himself.
And would you be happier if your husband was younger?
If only you could just wake up some clear, tranquil morning and everything, the whole past was forgotten. You could start to lead a new life.
Uncle Vanya, dear sweet Vanya, life is beautiful.
Very dramatic. Now, the show was interrupted by the pandemic, but it's been filmed by the cast during the last month. And it stars Toby Jones, who you might know from the Harry Potter films, Roger Allam, and British actor Richard Armitage, of course, star of The Hobbit and Netflix drama The Strangers. I always think of him as Lucas from Spooks. You might know him as John Thornton from TV's North and South, his first major TV part. And Amy knows him from Robin Hood. Well, I caught up with him a couple of days ago about Uncle Vanya.
Yes, it was a play. It's written by Anton Chekhov, and the play was written over 100 years ago. We were performing in the West End. We opened in early January, and then we were unfortunately taken off because of the situation with the virus, and we've managed to create a filmed version of it. So there's lots of relevancy with the play, and I think audiences will understand what this play's about.
What's the relevance?
You know, it was written at a time when, well, certainly for my character, the doctor in the play, Dr. Astrov, he's recently returned from an epidemic in the north, and he's sort of worn out. He's a medic, and he's lost patience. And yeah, so I play Dr. Astrov, and he, the first speech of the play, he's returned from dealing with an epidemic in the north, and he's traumatized by what he's seen, and he's worn out, and in his kind of other life, he's planting trees and trying to save the environment, and it's quite interesting to sort of realize that this play was written over 100 years ago, and yet all of this, you know, the problems with health and society are very much the same. But ultimately it's about a group of people who are stuck in a house for nearly a year together, and finding that claustrophobia and that situation unbearable.
Yes, we've all got to know that, haven't we, in recent months, really? So I bet this was quite special for you to do then, you know, mixing film and theatre together. And now it's going to be a special cinema event for people to be able to enjoy, but only for a short time.
I think it's a limited release, so I think it's across the country from the 27th of October, and I think it's usually over about 2 days. So I think there's a 27th and the 1st of November that it will be shown for, and then the BBC are going to be releasing it later in the year. But yeah, it was really special to be able to put this on film. It was often theatre is filmed, but this was filmed in a really different way. We had 6 cameras. We were able to capture close-ups, and then the crew came on stage with handheld cameras and caught loads of the detail that was in the design, which I think is really, really unusual.
Mm-hmm. Richard, when I found out that we were going to be speaking to you on the programme, I got rather excited because to me, I'm sorry, you will always be Lucas in Spooks or the Vicar of Dibley, Dawn French's boyfriend. Of course, we love Dawn French down here in Cornwall. But I have 2 children.
Of course you do.
Well, yeah, my little boy who's 4 is just getting into Star Wars. So when I told him I was going to be speaking to somebody who'd starred in one of the Star Wars films, boy, was he excited.
I think starred is probably stretching the truth a little bit. It was one of my first jobs when I was in my final year at drama school, and I kind of went to the set of the what was then the new Star Wars film and did a couple of days on that. So but starring not so much.
What's been your favourite? Because a couple of my colleagues were talking about, Richard, he was in North and South, and I remember him from Robin Hood. So what's been your favourite? Because you've done, the list is endless of what you've starred in.
I think in terms of a life experience, I would say working on The Hobbit, but just simply because of the place we were shooting in New Zealand and the people that I met, and working with your absolute cinematic heroes, and the whole experience of working on The Hobbit was probably the highlight of my career so far.
What would you like to do in the future? Have you got anything in the pipeline that you're working on that you can tell us about, or is there something that you'd like to be involved in, or a director you'd like to work with, or somebody you'd like to star with that you haven't yet done?
I'm about to, next year I'm working on another Netflix show, which will be coming out of the UK, but I can't quite tell you what that is just yet. Maybe later in the week there'll be an announcement. But I'm at the moment I'm developing material myself, and because I do a lot of work for Audible, I stumble on new writing sometimes that hasn't been published, and I sort of see it as an opportunity to get in there before other people have read it and try and turn things into screenplays. So there's a few things that I've got in the pipeline that so a sort of future in that field to me is very appealing.
I did have to laugh at one point because I was looking through some information about all the roles that you've played, and there they are. You've just mentioned about The Hobbit and all the other big ones as well. And then in 1992, Richard Armitage, Man in the Pub in Boone, is also listed
correct,
as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that was even before I went to drama school. I thought I'll get some experience of working on a film set, and I was an extra. But Man in the Pub in Boone he had a whole backstory, and he knew where he was, where he came from, what beer he liked.
So, that was 1992, Richard.
The days of central television.
Would you have ever thought then you'd have done some of the films and the projects, and now starring in Uncle Vanya? Would you have thought all of that was going to, be the case going forward in your career?
Never in a million years would I have thought that I would have that kid from the Midlands would have gone on to do what he's done, but. Maybe somewhere in my sort of way in the back of my head, I thought, I can do this.
Where were you from in the Midlands?
What a surprise. I'm from Leicestershire.
I see. I grew up in Wolverhampton, so another Midlander.
Wolverhampton.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Well, let's not go there with that accent. Thankfully, I didn't. Well, it does come out occasionally. Thank you for talking to us. Thank you for being on the programme. I think we're just about to run out of time, aren't we? And good luck with Uncle Vanya. Just quickly before you go, for anybody interested in seeing it, why should we watch it, Richard? What's so special about it?
I think it's a chance for people that didn't get to London or can't get to the theatre, it's a chance to see something really unusual, really different. It will give you that feeling of being in a theatre, but you'll get lost in 19th century Russia.
Just while that was playing, Twitter's going mad. Marina and Chrissy saying, we're listening to the interview. Lots of ladies listening to that, I think, across Cornwall today. Now, you might remember him as Harry Jasper Kennedy, the handsome stranger in The Vicar of Dibley. Do you remember this?
I'm asking you to marry me, Geraldine Granger.
You are asking me to marry you.
I absolutely know that we are meant to be together forever. And we will always be happy.
Brilliant. One of my favourite episodes. And something quite funny, when I was interviewing Richard on Wednesday, at one point things didn't go quite to plan for him during our chat. He started to have a little issue with his computer. Listen to this.
My computer's just overheating. I know. I've just got to figure it out. 1 second.
Don't worry.
Can we just pause for a second?
Of course.
No problem, Richard.
I've just got the fans have come on. 1 second. Here we go. I can turn this off.
I'm overheating, but for different reasons.
Are you? Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to do this.
You see, it just goes to show these technical glitches can happen to the best of us. So Uncle Vanya, if you're interested, showing in UK cinemas and across Cornwall on October the 27th and November the 1st, so from next Tuesday.
BBC Radio Cornwall.
We're pledging to find £5 million